The COVID pandemic left a permanent mark on society, and the world of movies was no exception. Plenty of films were released during this stretch, but Giant Freakin' Robot is taking a look back at this dark time by examining and highlighting the best sci-fi movies of the COVID era. The Invisible Man is the kind of movie where you exhale in a moment of release, only to realize you are holding your breath the entire time. Cecilia, played by Elizabeth Moss, is trapped in an abusive marriage with rich tech visionary Adrian Griffin. When Adrian kills himself, she thinks her nightmare is over, until she becomes convinced he faked his death, turned himself invisible, and continues to torment her. Cecilia's friends don't believe her, thinking she's coming unhinged. We, however, know better. Adrian isolates her and makes everyone question her sanity. Filled with horror and stress, director Leigh Whannell uses wide shots full of negative space to create a creeping dread. Nothing in The Invisible Man looks as sinister as a still shot of vacant space. The Invisible Man is a masterclass in escalating pressure. The Invisible Man debuted in theaters only days before 2020's initial COVID panic began, leading people to lock themselves in their homes, and far too many moviegoers missed it. Released at the peak of COVID in the summer of 2020, for those who saw it, The Vast of Night was a rare bright spot in the few and far between new releases showing up on streaming. The Vast of Night is a simple story in a simple place. It's set in a small 1950s New Mexico town. It follows a radio DJ named Everett and a local telephone switchboard operator named Faye as they encounter a strange signal and investigate its origins. The entire film takes place over a few hours, as the pair make phone calls and break into the local library looking for evidence, all while the entire town is busy attending a local high school basketball game. The Vast of Night is the slowest of slow burns, comprised almost entirely of long, sweeping camera movements and close-up shots with minimal editing cuts. Faye spends huge chunks of screen time working feverishly in front of her operator switchboard, and when Everett takes a mysterious call, the entire screen goes black so the audience, like Everett, can fully focus on the words coming through from the other end.
And we were all sent to this rocky kind of sandy alcove, and they had us start digging a square hole with their digging machines and such.
There's a payoff for everything at the end, but it's the near real-time experience of getting there that makes The Vast of Night a masterpiece. The Vast of Night isn't for everyone, but for those with the needed focus and attention span, it's one of the most engrossing sci-fi movie viewing experiences you can have at home alone in the dark. Bill and Ted Face the Music had so much to live up to, capping off a trilogy that promises to climax with a song that can unite the world and save reality. Thankfully, Bill and Ted Face the Music knows the burden it has to carry and decides to use it to its advantage. Instead of placing the narrative stress on the plot, the film uses the framework of the plot to better explore where Bill S. Preston Esquire and Ted Theodore Logan are in their lives. When the film starts, our most bodacious protagonists are about to give up on their music careers. It's then that they are led on a quest through their own personal futures in an attempt to steal their reality-saving song from themselves. Bill and Ted Face the Music is a fitting finale to the fan-favorite series. It ends up leaving the franchise with the kind of positivity and unity it always promised. Bill and Ted Face the Music isn't going to save the world, but it will remind you that the world is worth saving. In Greenland, Gerard Butler plays John Garrity, an everyman trying to mend fences with his estranged wife, Allison, played by Morena Baccarin. Because every hero in every disaster movie always has an estranged wife. He also has a moppet of a son named Nathan. When a comet with the decidedly ho-hum name of Clark makes a beeline for Earth in what would be an extinction-level event, he has to find a way to get them to safety. That's it. At a basic level, that's the story. Making that work is, of course, much more difficult, and Gerard Butler's John is thwarted at every turn. Greenland delivers precisely the movie it promises to be. Big and booming. There's plenty of bombastic thrills and brink-of-annihilation action, with just enough human connection to keep viewers engaged. It never veers from the disaster movie template, but everything it does well, and Greenland should more than sate those looking to watch the world crumble on screen. Mitchells vs. the Machines is one of the smartest and funniest family sci-fi animated films of the COVID era, blending epic robot apocalypse stakes with genuinely affecting family drama. On the surface, The Mitchells vs. the Machines is flashy, bold, and hilarious. The dysfunctional Mitchell clan is stranded on a road trip when an AI uprising suddenly glitches their world. But beneath the mayhem lies a sharp emotional core and a pointed commentary on our own digital dependency, right at the moment when the world was being forced into endless Zoom calls and screens. Directors Mike Rianda and Jeff Rowe's movie bursts with a vibrant visual style that's equal parts comic book energy and Pixar polish, yet grounded by the heart of their characters. The real genius here is in how the movie skewers our obsession with tech and control by celebrating human improv, glitches, and the beauty of real, imperfect connection. Mitchells vs. the Machines arrived in April of 2021 on streaming, just when a COVID-weary world needed it, delivering a wildly inventive story of tech rebellion rooted in celebrating the idea that humans still matter most.
She seems agitated.
Free Guy is a rare original IP that somehow dodged the remake, reboot, recycle trap and gave us something fresh, funny, and sneakily profound. At first glance, it's just Ryan Reynolds being his charming self in a video game world. But beneath the surface, Free Guy tackles big sci-fi themes: AI consciousness, digital freedom, and the soul inside the simulation. It's Tron meets The Truman Show, layered with modern commentary about our obsession with open-world escapism and the power structures that govern them. Director Sean Levy balances humor and heart with a visual style that's bright and kinetic without ever feeling hollow. There's real emotional weight behind Guy's awakening, and Reynolds delivers a performance that's more nuanced than people give him credit for.
I love you, Millie. Maybe that is my programming talking, but guess what? Someone wrote that program.
The film's meta-take on gaming culture is sharp but never cynical, and its final act delivers the kind of crowd-pleasing catharsis audiences didn't know they needed. Free Guy is one of a small handful of post-2000 blockbusters that actually feel new. In a time when most sci-fi leaned dark and dystopian, Free Guy dared to be optimistic, and that hit differently after a year of lockdowns and existential dread in August of 2021, near the end of the COVID era. With COVID ending and people just beginning to get back into theaters, Dune could have been the first big thing to bring audiences back. But even in October 2021, Warner was still uncertain about the willingness of audiences to group together. So Dune received a simultaneous streaming and theatrical release. The movie still made big money, but it could have been even bigger, since Dune is, first and foremost, a spectacle. With cinematography that is impressive.
Thank you.
Medieval imagery fights for attention against the endless threatening stretches of sand that sweep their way across the otherworldly planet. Paul's trance-like dream sequences with the Fremen are drenched in shades of burnt orange and broken into vision-like fractures. Dune takes its time to revel in each moment and indulges itself to its fullest. There's no rush for Dune to hurry. The sandworms that wriggle beneath the wind-sculpted desert are fantastic beasts, both terrifying and truly glorious at once. The film relies heavily on visual narrative and the means of action to propel the narrative forward, while in the company of Hans Zimmer's score. The use of telling the story at hand through physical direction and on-screen blocking invites, if not welcomes, personal interpretation of the plot. Dune was and is an experience as much as it is a narrative, one that didn't need words to explain itself. It's appropriate then that the movie to signify the end of the COVID era is also the best sci-fi film to survive it. Like these list videos and want to see more? Join the channel as a member and you'll get exclusive behind-the-scenes access as part of the GFR team, and you can even get involved with what videos we make next. Give the video a thumbs up, tell us some of your favorite flicks from the COVID era in the comments, and make sure to subscribe to the channel to help us all out here at Giant Freakin' Robot.